The doves of peace making their escape from Hyde Park. And followed on their way by thousands of balloons. Dona Nobis Pacem by Bach introduces the procession of the children into the globe. Each head of state has signed an olive leaf, which will make up part of the world map. Each head of state, too, has been presented with a specially cast memorial medallion designed by Pierre Luck from Wandsworth, who won a competition organised by the BBC Newsround programme. Swati III of Swaziland follows Her Majesty. Being accompanied by Major Michael Parker, who's organised this event this afternoon. But everywhere there are keen eyes and smiling faces. It's a moment of sombre reflection, but also imbued with the optimism of youth, that reborn optimism of the generations that keeps all of us sane when history threatens to mow us down. His Royal Highness organising the rest of the event. And inside the globe, the pieces of the olive leaves are built up around the eternal flame to create an image of a world at peace. The counterpoint to this scene is that so many people represented here today have experienced the way that the tide of history has washed back and forth across them in the intervening years. One can only hope that permanent peace will touch them too. After all, among this gathering of heads of state are the leaders of Croatia and Bosnia. Here, President of Syria, Botswana. The route lined by veterans and the children of the flowers and cadets from the St. John Ambulance. veterans from around the world. Smiles for Her Majesty in the Hyde Park sunshine, and smiles from Queen Beatrix, talking to one of the children of the flowers who are presenting bouquets as the heads of state make their way back to the royal box. Prince Haakon of Norway, one of the youngest heads of state, heirs to the throne, represented today. And everywhere we look, there are children getting lessons in international diplomacy. Thabo Mbeki, Deputy President of South Africa. And in these children's faces, there's the public affirmation of a quest for peace. A promise of peace made under the intense gaze of these children and in the eyes of hundreds of millions around the world. Accompanying Her Majesty through this joyous crowd, President Jela of Bulgaria, President Nur Hossolani of Trinidad and Tobago, the President of Botswana, Sir Ketumili Maziri, the President of Greece, Konstantinos Konstantinopoulos, representatives too of some of our forgotten allies, President Fernando Cardoso of Brazil. Brazil gave almost 200,000 troops to the effort of the Second World War. King Hussein of Jordan. Her Majesty the Queen preparing to take her leave of the heads of state. Her Majesty with the Lord Lieutenant and Prince Philip. Each of these heads of state being presented now carries away in their hand this special medallion, a medallion designed with hands around a globe which will with the shape of doves of peace, make up the continents. These scenes today remind us that peace is never a line drawn in the sand. Signatures on pieces of paper are beginnings, not ends in themselves. On VE Day 1945, we should remember, men still worked in room 109 at the War Office, coordinating the continuing war involving 1 million troops in the Southeast Asia Command. Taking their leave, the leaders of Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, of Moldova, Australia, Uzbekistan, Albania, Turkmenistan, Austria, Estonia, Lithuania, Slovakia, Jamaica, Latvia, Belgium, Azerbaijan, the Ukraine, Belarus, Gibraltar. Also represented here, the Secretary-General of the Commonwealth. Even if we have taken reconciliation a step closer, we must remember that war and the threat of war is a daily reality for many millions of people. Multinational wars have been ousted by civil wars. The involvement of so many humanitarian and relief agencies here at Hyde Park stands testimony to that. But remember those faces. Which head of state could not have been moved by those peaceful smiles and by that innocent intensity? Her Majesty saying farewell to the Grand Duke of Luxembourg, Colonel-in-Chief of the Irish Guards, served in the Irish Guards during the war. Prior to the Queen's departure, the royal standard is lowered as King Hussein bids his farewell. The children will be taking tales back to school of kings and presidents and foreign ministers whose hands they held on the way to the globe of peace. Flags of nations that we hope understand each other a little better. This orchestra is in itself a symbol of reconciliation, uniting the countries of Europe, and brave enough on occasions like this to bring in musicians from other countries, today from Russia, from America, emphasising the internationality of this event.
There's one around the front. There's a spare.
So much of the history of the 20th century is encompassed in these handshakes. Farewell kiss from the Crown Prince of Norway. On VE Day in 1945, Field Marshal Montgomery made a speech to his forces, which still echoes across these intervening years. "We have won the German war," he said. "Let us now win the peace. Without doubt, great problems lie ahead. There is much work for each of us. So let us embark on what lies ahead, full of joy and optimism. Good luck to you all."